Hey, what's good? Your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. Welcome to this video. It's another beat breakdown video of a nice R&B beat. I guess I was on my R&B vibes, man, but it's coming out dope. It's just nothing like creating something that's on your mind and getting it out and just building on one little melody idea. So it came out really nice, and I love to share it with you right now, so that way you can be inspired and you can think of some things to help make your beats better and help you sell music, and hopefully it inspires you. So anyway, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats. That's PHANATIC, or Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So what I started with was actually a loop in this beat. So this is like a pad loop. Let me see what I did. Let me turn these off actually before I get too crazy. Let's see if I get any underruns while playing this. All right, we're gonna leave the mastering on until we start hearing a lot of jitters and whatnot. So with the pad, I actually use Shaperbox, and I think this is the first one. They made a new version. Let me turn off the effects. I started with this pad. And it's really cool. Let's see. And I also pitched it up and stretched it to match the tempo. So the pad was let me copy this value and reset, and this is what it sounded like in the beginning. It's actually, you can't go wrong either way. So this is what I pitched it up to, 62%. And then I added some effects. I used Fruity Parametric EQ2, cut off the highs, cut off the lows, kind of gave it this box feeling along these frequencies. And in Shaperbox, what I decided to do is use a timing effect. I did like some type of simple stutter and brought down the mix level to 32%. So I kind of created my own little pad loop there to make it, I don't know, a little more unique, just to kind of give you that vibe. So the next thing I added was like these plucks in the background. So check it out. And that was in Omnisphere, and of course I added some effects to that one, as you saw. I just cut off the lows to give room. I use reverb. Here's my settings here if you want to pause it and check that out later. Nothing too crazy. Turn the bass all the way down. Wet level is 62%, 2.3 seconds decay time. And I should have cut the lows, but maybe I decided to keep it up to kind of give it a little more essence. And I use this plugin called Reverser that kind of gives it like a reverse effect, but I did it after the reverb. So you have the reverb, then it's like a reverse reverb, kind of almost sound design. Basically it is sound design, but that's some light stuff I did real quick. That way it kind of makes it unique as well as with the pad. So spending time on these sounds, man, it definitely makes your music that much more special and more you. So let's hit the next sound. And now we're getting pops. So let me turn off Ozone 8. There we go. All right, so the bass, I did a whole rack of stuff. The EQ, I did some craziness. I was playing around with frequencies. Looks like I spazzed out and took a lot of time into that. And then I tried Sausage Fattener, but I didn't like how it sounded. So it looks like I was troubleshooting, finding different things that would work with it. R-bass stereo, I use that, and decapitator, I use that, and then I use the limiter for side chaining, I'm sure. And let me turn off all the effects off the bass. Big difference, right? And that bass was in Contact, and I'm curious. No, it looks like it was in Expand too. So let me see what bass I use. Clicky analog. I found some random thing. Sometimes I like to challenge myself and just find a sound where I can shape into what I want it to be, and that pushes you as a producer as well. Depends how much time you have to make music. If you got nothing but time, you know, experiment with stuff. The next thing I had was a lead, so let's present that. So I use Exhale, and I used like a vocal lead. This one is the Ghostly Notes. And it was kind of cool because it gives it like this ambient sound, like a woman singing in the background really softly. So you already got that R&B vibe, you know, like maybe Kalani or maybe even Anderson .Paak on this one. So, I mean, you fill in the blank. It's just all about creating the music, and then maybe you can hear who would sound good on it. So next I threw in a percussion loop to kind of build it a little bit and have this in the background. And notice I cut the lows on that as well because I didn't want any low frequencies because I have my own kick and my own, you know, lower frequency stuff I'm going to add to it. So speaking of kick, here's the kick I chose, and probably did some processing too. See, a nice punchy kick. It adds a nice vibe to it. Notice it's not reverb, is really short, and notice the type of rhythm I chose. Nice. It did like a little change up on the pattern 8 at the end with the kick. It's like a boom 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 boom. So it's like almost like a heartbeat, and that's kind of what I was going for. So here comes the snare. Clap. And notice there's a snare and a clap, so I actually layered those two together, kind of give it its own thing. The snare, I didn't pitch or anything. The clap, I think I did. Yeah, I pitched it down and also shifted it a lot off the grid, so it kind of has like this crunch delayed effect. I use stereo enhancer with the clap, so it kind of spreads the clap left and right. And with the EQ, I just cut the lows on the snare. Let's see, I just cut the lows on that. And the kick, I actually use Sound Goodizer. I forgot to mention that. It's like a compression compressor, but it gives it nice coloring on certain sounds. So next was like I think an open hi-hat. Let's see, kick, snare, clap. Yep, it's a regular hi-hat. So here you go. It's like on every beat, just to kind of give it this marching feel, like this steady vibe, to kind of give it like a straightforward feel, because you know the kick drum rhythm is a little jumpy, so I wanted to get something to contrast that. So the next is another hi-hat, but with a different rhythm. hear the pauses in the second hi-hat just to give it like this. What's happening? Oh, what's happening? Like the listener is waiting for it to start up again. So I do little things like that to play with the listener, and also to entice, the audience. You want to, not get too crazy with it, but do little things like that. Just make your stuff special. And then I added another hi-hat, a straightforward hi-hat. So we got 3 hi-hats going on. Jeez. No, the first one was a shaker. So shaker and 2 hi-hats. So I put that all the way through, straight through, to give it even more structure. And I think this is a cymbal. No, it's a vocal effect to add on to the exhale lead that I used before. So she's going like, ooh, my bad, I can't sing tonight. It goes, that's like an octave lower. See? And I put that on every 8 bars, I think. So that way you it's solidified. Start here. Now start there. You know what I mean? And it gives it a lot more structure. So, and the last thing I added was an 808, I believe. Was it a synth bass? No, I used the classic 3X OSC, and I created a bass line with this. I turned down the 2 oscillators and leave this one up, and you can always just either change the octave, in the piano roll, or you can do it here as well, but I choose a piano roll. It's easy to remember. And notice how it bends. Let me show you what I did. Go to wrench tool, turn on porta and mono, and raise the slide, and it slides from note to note. That way it gives it that classic R&B feel when you have a synth bass doing that. And let me see if I did anything. I don't know why this is bass 2. It means I had another bass somewhere. I did. Oh, okay. Let me see where that was. Oh, okay. So all right, so I'm glad I remember that. Notice the first part of the chorus has a different bass. I actually used the lower bass, the 3X OSC, let me make sure I'm saying that right, 3X OSC on the second part here. So I switch basses, and you can do unique stuff like that as well. I didn't know I was going this hard on this beat, so I was in my zone. So the second bass actually doesn't have as much processing, just EQ'd it, and I used the limiter, for sidechaining for the kicks. So this is what it sounds like here. And remember, the first bass was, listen for the bass. And then it switches up. But notice how I lead into it right here. See, the pattern's different. The note goes up here on pattern 5 compared to pattern 4, and it leads right into this other second bass that I chose to do. So I'm gonna start the beat from the beginning so you can vibe out and hear the intro into the chorus. And let me see. Yep, that's all the sounds that I chose to do in this beat. So came together quite well. Hopefully you enjoy it, and here it is. lower the octave of the plucks here. Wow, so you get the idea. At the beginning of the verse, I lowered the plucks, so that way it's a little more space left there for the artists, and the vocals can stand out more. And I didn't mention I use Endless Smile at the beginning. It's like a plugin where you can kind of create these really cool riser effects, but I used it very subtly in the background. If you notice, it was actually changing up before the drop. It gets a little hollow and like reverb. I'll play it again. Listen to it rise in the background. Off. See, just a little subtle thing to kind of build energy into the beat, and I did a fade out towards the end. So, and the verses are a little slightly different. I change a few things here and there because that's just my style, and I like switching things up and keeping the listener intrigued, keeping the listener like, yo, that was nice, just involved and just wondering what's going to happen next. So again, it's DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. Hopefully the video inspired you to make some R&B beats, or inspired you to use a technique in any other type of beat that you do, or a music project of your own. It doesn't just have to be a beat for an artist. It could be for like anything, you know, TV, film, trailer, or, you know, YouTubers, whatever. There's music all over the world. So hopefully something in this video inspires you, or you learn something. And keep on rocking, keep doing your thing. And again, if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats, or Sounds for Producers on IG as well. So I'll check you out at the next video. Peace and love, yo.